What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here, back with another video, and in this one, we're going to continue these draft videos here for the New England Patriots in the third round of the 2022 NFL Draft. The New England Patriots finally go cornerback. This one is going to be Marcus Jones out of Houston. Now, is this going to be the cornerback that I wanted the Patriots to get? No. No, it is not. I would have really hoped that they would have gone a starting cornerback at some point in this draft, and with that being said, Marcus Jones is not going to be that. Marcus Jones is not going to be your number one outside perimeter cornerback. Unfortunately, corners were just absolutely flying off of the board in this year's draft, especially in the second to third round. Roger McCreary went off early in the second. Jalen Petrie went off. Kyler Gordon, Andrew Booth. We can go on and on. Unfortunately, by that Patriots' first, second-round pick, there were really just no corners that they liked. And if you drafted Marcus Jones in the second round, or even with your ability to trade up for him, I still would not personally have agreed with it. Now, PFF does have him ranked as about their 60 to 64th best prospect in this year's draft. I have him as my top 10 cornerbacks. He actually ranks just as 10th on my corner rankings, but PFF did have him as a fourth round pick. But the way that these corners were flying off the board, I don't blame the Patriots for going with him where they did. I think if they tried to wait till the fourth round, he likely wouldn't have been there. Like I said before, these corners are just absolutely flying off the board. And again, Marcus Jones, to me, is the 10th best corner in this draft class. Now, with this pick, I truly believe that the Patriots are either getting a big special teamer, or they're going to be getting their next slot cornerback, or even both. But this is not going to be J.C. Jackson. I know a lot of people are saying, well, he has a lot of traits related to J.C. Jackson. He's not J.C. Jackson. This is not a perimeter cornerback. Marcus Jones is not going to play on the outside. He's 5'8". He is 5'8", 174 pounds. At the NFL level, he's not playing on the outside at that height. He's just going to get absolutely murdered despite how athletic he is. With that being said, obviously Jonathan Jones is the Patriots' current slot cornerback. So one, that could either make Jonathan Jones expendable, or the Patriots are looking at for when Jonathan Jones eventually leaves the Patriots, whether that's in free agency because he is a free agent at the end of the season, or if he just ends up retiring. I like Marcus Jones. I would have liked this pick a whole lot more if the Patriots went at an outside corner earlier in this draft. I think where the Patriots really do need secondary help is at perimeter cornerback, not at slot cornerback. I think there's guys even in-house outside of Jonathan Jones that could be depth pieces there for the slot defensively. But you gotta love the traits that Marcus Jones brings. I mean, besides that height, if Marcus Jones is 6 foot, 6'1", and can play perimeter, this guy's going in the first round easy. But because of his height, because he's a slot guy, he's dropping. Now, Marcus Jones is absolutely the best return man in this entire draft. All the way from round 1, all the way to UDFAs, whether it's a kick returner or punt returner, he is absolutely insane. Now, with that being said, he did also perform really well defensively throughout his college career. He was able to pick off 5 passes and broke up 12 others just in 2021. He put up 6 career touchdowns, including a game winner versus SMU in 2021, and had 2 interceptions and 3 PBUs on 18 targets versus Memphis. He did play for a smaller college, playing for the Houston Cougars, so making that transition to the NFL is going to be a lot more difficult for him. It's not like he was playing, at Michigan or Alabama or LSU. But you can't deny the stats that he's put up throughout his time with Houston were absolutely incredible. Only a 2-year starter, though, still very raw, didn't play in 2019, but in 2020, he put up an overall grade of 89.5. He played in 7 games that season with a total of 374 defensive snaps. He played about 187 of those in coverage. He was targeted 33 times with 18 receptions allowed for 145 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and allowed a passer rating of 63.3. This past season, he put up an overall grade of 87.8, appearing in 11 games with 598 defensive snaps, 382 of those being coverage. He was targeted 75 times, allowing 36 receptions for 545 yards, allowing 2 touchdowns with 5 interceptions, and having a passer rating of, or allowing a passer rating of 53.5. Now, he is a pretty versatile guy. He's played a little bit, just very minimal, 9 snaps in 2021 and 2 snaps in 2020 as a deep corner, pretty much a safety. Played a little bit in box also. He played 123 snaps in 2021 in slot and 99 in 2020, but was mainly used as a perimeter cornerback. 412 snaps at perimeter cornerback this past year and 246 in 2020. But again, with those size limitations going to the NFL level, NFL competition, he's not going to be playing the outside. This past year, he put up an overall coverage grade of 87.4, a run defensive grade of 83.1, which is something I really like about his game for a small guy, for a guy that obviously physically is small. He plays really, really big, especially mentally. He's so willing to come up from no matter where he is, whether he's playing slot, whether he's playing perimeter cornerback, whether he's playing deep and playing a little bit of safety. He will come up and contribute wherever he can in the running game, which is why I'm sure Bill Belichick loves him. He also allowed a 48% completion percentage in 2021, which is absolutely great, getting under 50%. And then he was also tied for second in forced incompletions with 16. He has really nice transitions. He's super, super smooth. You're not going to see his hips lock. He's a guy that no matter what phase of the game defensively we're talking about, he just wants to be around the football. Now, that size, like I said, is going to be the biggest limitation. Even if we're talking about at a slot cornerback, that's undersized. He's tiny even for a slot corner at the NFL level. So if you're trying to tell me that he's already small for a slot corner, there's absolutely no way, guys, that he's going to be a perimeter cornerback. He's also another guy that's a little bit up there in age. The Patriots have never cared about that. I think they showed that so far in this draft that they really don't care how old you are. Currently, he is 23. His birthday's in October, so even when the season starts, he'll still be 23, but still an older guy for sure. Attributes-wise, though, he brings really everything you're looking for. A guy who plays much bigger than he actually is. A guy with really good instincts. A guy that loves to come down in any phase of the game and just be around the ball to make tackles. Super loose, super slippery, plays scrappy, very athletic corner. So I like the pick. You do just wish the Patriots could have gotten an outside corner because that is where they need help the most. That is where they're lacking. But nonetheless, you can't argue that the Patriots got a really good player, both defensively and especially as a special teamer. Now, before we end this video, I want to give a big shout out to the sponsors of this video, betonline.ag. Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. Also, don't forget that baseball is back and the start of the Major League Baseball season is finally here. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join us using that promo code CLNS50 to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. But in the third round, with the 85th pick overall, the New England Patriots finally go secondary, selecting cornerback Marcus Jones out of Houston. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. Like always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and go Pats.